What's up? Welcome to episode number 2 of the Wanderpreneur Show. I am your hostess, Christy Murphy, and I'm so excited to have you here talking about bankruptcy, hardship, big flops, and is it time to give up in your business? That's what today's all about. So, before I go on, I want to quickly just give a disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice for you to take and run with. And, I once had a mortgage license, which was in the state of Texas, but I also had to get approved federally. It's not active right now, so I'm inactive. But today's episode is all about this topic, and it's coming from my personal experience, my business knowledge, and experiences I've gone through with my past clients, and some clients that have recently called me and asked me questions about this, as well as my mortgage lending experience. So if you have dreams of ever becoming a homeowner, I really hope that you listen to everything I have to say in this episode. And if you know someone that is a business owner that is thinking about doing bankruptcy but still wants to be a homeowner one day, then please share this with them. Okay? So before we get started, I want to kind of go over a few reasons why people file bankruptcy. So I looked it up, and the top 3 reasons why people file bankruptcy is number 1, medical debt. Number 2, job or income loss. And number 3, poor money management, which you can imagine is, most of the United States, since over 70% have less than $1,000 in their checking and savings combined. Definitely been there a time or two in my life, and I'm sure you have too, because we're all human. But out of those 3 statistics, only about 30,000 corporations filed bankruptcy in 2016, and total in 2016, I almost said 2017, was 800,000. So if you can imagine, we had 800,000 file bankrupt in 2016 alone. I don't have the statistics for 2017 or 2018. I didn't find them in my quick digging, so I apologize for being a little outdated with those statistics, but still, that was kind of shocking to know that many people are filing bankruptcy every year. And before I go into whether or not it's time for you to give up in your business and in your dreams, I must start off by kind of sharing a big corporation that most of us know. Maybe not all of us have gone to, but we most likely know and have heard of David's Bridal. They are my example for today because, I have to compare you to somebody, and why not them? And I chose them because not only are they big, but also I started a wedding venue business, and I figured why not dig into their information to figure this out. So David's Bridal actually filed bankruptcy, a Chapter 11, in November of 2018. And, there's different types of chapters of bankruptcy. There's a Chapter 13, a Chapter 7, Chapter 11, and probably more that I'm not even aware of. And they've been in business for 65 years. So what happened, right? Over time, they had more competition because people like to know, and trust who they're buying from. And there's all these new little boutique shops popping up all over the place. And that's who the brides go and look at first, right? It's not that they're a bad company at all. It's just that they have more competition now. Just like in this online, unregulated industry that most of my listeners are included in. And they were $6 million in debt, and they had a $125 million asset loan to keep stores open. And the CEO states today that they will be keeping all their stores open and fulfilling all the wishes of other brides that have already ordered their dresses. So if you are getting married and bought your dress from there, no worries. You still are getting your dress. That I think. Okay, but again, disclaimer, I'm not David's Bridal. But I wanted to kind of go over that because that's a lot of debt, right? $60 million worth of debt, and that's why they filed their bankruptcy. But let's talk about you real fast. I know that sometimes medical debt can definitely rack up a huge chunk. I once knew somebody that had like $1 million baby, and I bet you they don't. I hope they don't, but I don't think that bankruptcy for medical debt is necessarily something that you need to do, okay? Because it's going to hurt you more than it will help you. When you're trying to buy a home, or when you're looking at anything related to purchasing something or leveraging your income to get into a better place financially, medical debt is usually not included in your debt to income ratio. Okay, that's my little mortgage brain giving you that hint. On the other side of things, if you do have a lot of medical debt, I'm sorry that your family and you had to experience all that hardship, because I know it can be hard and I know it can be expensive. I've had medical debt before too, and it took me years to pay off, and that's okay. Everybody goes to the beat of their own drum. Some of y'all can pay it off now, some of y'all can pay it off later, but don't let that stress you out to the point where you feel like you have to file bankruptcy. That's just me speaking. Number 2, let's kind of talk about this whole job loss thing, because it seems like competition these days is a lot greater, and there's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of real people out there. It's hard to justify who's who. Then your customers, they get scared to purchase and blah, 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 and you're left with making less money than what you did before. So what's going to happen, right? Well, I kind of feel like the whole job loss, income loss part is tied in with the poor money management, because a smart wanderpreneur or business owner knows that it's smart to put about 40% of the money you earn back into your business or back into income streams, right? So obviously you want to be saving for your taxes. You also want to be saving for hardships. You also want to be saving for your future, okay? And not just like a retirement account, but like something where if something happens, like you have a way out to fix yourself and to support yourself, to make it through that hardship, whether it's going to last 3 months or a year and a half long, the way it lasted for me, which was so not planned. And, you know, let's see, I've been asked this question a lot, and the story that sticks out the most to me was a brick and mortar location, and, you know, great family, great service, great products, great quality of everything, and they had some issues with money management as well as the amount of debts they had, and they were coming in all over the place. They didn't know what to do. She thought about taking another loan out to consolidate everything else, and I came in and I went through all her finances with her, made an Excel spreadsheet to figure out due dates, to figure out balances, interest, and all that kind of stuff, and to see if bringing on another debt was going to be the problem solver, because sometimes people say debt consolidation is the way to go, which I believe, if that's the case for you. However, in this case, it wasn't really going to benefit her as much as it would doing it the way I was talking about. Okay, so let's think of Dave Ramsey for a minute. And he says to pay off your debts one at a time, right? Well, he says to go after the one with the lowest balance, which is true. You want to look at the ones that have lowest balances, but you also want to be able to look at the ones that you only need to make like 1 or 2 more payments left, right? Who cares if you only owe, I wish I could show y'all something, but I guess I can't, right? If you get on the email list, you're going to learn a lot about this, but let's say you only owe a certain amount of money. Let's say like $1,000. And you have one that is 2 payments of $500, or you have this $1,000 debt that has the monthly payment of $49, right? I know this may sound like common sense, but sometimes people go and they pay off the one that is $1,000 with a $49 payments, because then that's 12 payments they don't have to worry about. Well, I had to come in and let her know, like, no. You need to go after this one first, because then that one's knocked out. That means you are reducing your monthly expenses by $500 a month by taking care of this one first. So, like, there's a mathematical equation to trying to figure this out. And if you are in some kind of situation where you're like, oh no, what do I do? Then definitely book a call with my team and I, because I do want to help you. I don't want anyone to experience what I've experienced, what my father experienced in his business, and what 800,000 other people experienced in 2016. I did not file bankruptcy within my own business, but I can say I've had the IRS swipe my bank account to zero before I was at the age of like 18 years old. So there wasn't much, but that was a lot to me. And I've had other experiences too where I like did not have anything. Like I had a negative account in my bank account, right? So a negative balance in my bank account. So things can get hard. But if you know that this is just a season of where you're at in your business and life, you're going to make it on the other side. Okay, that's when you know it's time to keep on going. If it's just a season, will things be hard? Yes. But you know what? There's ways to reduce it, okay? You can put your student loans on hold if you have those. You can get a second job. You can start selling stuff that you have. You can reduce your prices and have sales if you're service-based. You can do many different things, and you don't have to pay your medical bills. You can set up payments to do that later. So I would highly suggest anyone listening to this, if you've been considering bankruptcy because of some big flop or some big hardship, I'm going to encourage you to just keep fighting the fight without having to go and do that. Because if your dream is to ever to own a business that you have to purchase commercial-wise, or buying a home, or any other kind of income stream, then it's dangerous. It could be the cost of you waiting another decade to do so, because that will be attached to you forever, pretty much. Okay, I mean, they say only it affects you for 7 years, but it's going to reduce your credit score. It's going to affect a lot of things in your life, and not just make things easier. Okay, so some people think that makes their life easier if they just go and file bankruptcy, but I want to encourage you that it's not, and that what's going to be easier is that you keep on fighting. You keep having faith in what you believe in. You keep fighting the fight within your business, no matter who thinks you're crazy, no matter who thinks you should give up, because just on this other side of that big fight, you're going to find a whole new world, a whole new reality to not only your business, but to your life. Like that's the difference. We watched a show last night with, what was it called? The one where Jim Carrey is like trapped in his, and I can't think of the name. I'm terrible with that kind of stuff. Don't ask me a band name. Don't ask me a movie name, but ask me anything about business. I'm pretty sure we can hold a conversation about it. But where he's trapped up inside of his own world, and anytime he tries to do anything different that's not normal, everything around him starts to try to push him back into that. And I want you to think about that in your life right now. If you're going through this hardship, okay, you are about to reach the next best level, and it's like a video game or anything else going on. Like, you have to complete the task. If you give up, like, you're just saying like, all right, I'm going to restart this, or I'm walking away from the arcade game or the video game, whatever. And so I want to continue to encourage you to fight the fight, because you're going to get to the other side. There's ways to do it. You have to be resourceful. You have to build that strong foundation. And if you go through this hardship, you're going to learn not only a lot about yourself and your business, but you're also going to learn a lot about being grateful and a lot about strength. And that's going to help you become a new version of yourself to really fulfill those dreams in your life. So thank you for tuning in today to talk about bankruptcy and the hardships and big flops that you may be having. I don't think it's time for you to give up, unless, here's the catcher, unless you're one of those business owners that just wants to prance around saying, I'm a business owner and I make this amount of money, and look at my good car and look at this nice home and things like that, then I do think you should give up, because I don't think that entrepreneurship is cut out for you. But if you are burning and bleeding entrepreneurship out of your body, then don't give up. Keep fighting the fight, because you're going to get there. I believe in you. You're totally worth your dreams and capable. You're the only authority you need. So just keep going and just go with the flow. You're going to make it through no matter how hard it is. Every hardship has an equal achievement to that, okay? It's just all energy. Every negative has a positive. Eventually it all becomes neutral. But if you're in the deepest, darkest times right now, just know that the best times are coming to equal that hardship. All right? So I believe in y'all, and I can't wait to hear another, to see y'all again. And I can't wait to hear from y'all. If y'all have anything to say, please reach out at Christy@officialwanderpreneurs.com. That way I can do an episode about anything y'all want to talk about. Have a great day.